Hey, Happy New Year, everybody. Jason Grandin, and welcome to our third season of Arizona Real Estate Connection. And hey, what is great about this is we are going to do this live. So for those of you that don't necessarily listen to a podcast, you can now see my face. Here we are. It's going to be great. So as many of you know, Arizona Real Estate Showcase, we talk about real estate in the Arizona market. We also try to talk about things that are real life. So, for example, we'll talk about like the HOAs, pets, landscaping, just the different things that go with home ownership, restaurants to eat at, and we will be featuring many people. So, along with Arizona Real Estate Showcase, our podcast, we have an internet TV show called The Lockbox, which will also be airing later on this month. And we had a great year with that last year. In fact, we met some really great people. It was a really good time. So what we want to do with this show is make it a little more interactive so you guys can have a good time as well. So welcome to the episode of Arizona Real Estate Showcase. Excuse my office. This is the first video. I was excited to get on it, so I wanted to make sure that the video stuff's up, the camera, and sorry about the mess behind me. But as we grow, we'll add stuff to it. So let's get started. So over the course of the past 2 or 3 seasons we've been doing this, we've talked about everything. I think our final episode last year was, if you got a pet for Christmas, what are you going to do with it? And so forth. So many people got pets, and a lot of them end up giving them away, which we're not big fans of that. You know, our attitude is if you get a pet, it's part of your life. You should keep it that way, and so forth. So today, we wanted to start the year off fresh, and we wanted to kind of go into a couple different things. One, rumors are false that you hear about the housing market, depending on what you're listening to. So we'll start off with that. Many of you are hearing, oh, we got a new president coming in. Oh, hey, that's the other thing too. We try not to get into politics on it because home ownership and real estate market is for everybody. It doesn't matter what side of the aisle you're on. Everybody wants to own a home, a condo, a townhome, and so forth. So we want to make that enjoyable. So we try to hit issues that cover everybody, and we do try to stay out of politics. But so the rumors, though, are garbage. I know many of you have emailed me and even called and said, hey, we think the real estate market is going to tank. It's new president. It's got to crash at some point. Maybe so, but the fact of the matter is we have over 300 people a day moving here from out of state. It's incredible. The rental market, we own instantrenters.com. The rental market is unbelievable. We went from doing 100, 150 rentals a month to maybe 10. There's no inventory. It goes fast. In addition, everybody has been priced out of the market. So for those of you looking for a rental for $1,000, it is slim pickings. And if we do find something, they go quick. So it's one of those deals you want to kind of jump on it. Always use a realtor to do any sort of real estate transaction. I cannot begin to tell you how important that is. So the rumors that the market's going to crash or whatnot, perhaps, but it's not going to be like 2008. So if you buy a house for $400,000 right now and you think the market's going to tank, you're not going to see this price go to $300,000. That's crazy to even think that would happen. Now, you'll see some adjustments and stuff, but with that said, you have a low interest rate. So with the interest rates being as low as they are, the guy buying a $400,000 house today will not be able to buy a $400,000 house tomorrow when those interest rates climb up. So you just got to kind of think of it along those lines. Also, for you renters, again, we love renters. We love having you guys do rentals and get you taken care of and everything. But get out of the rental and purchase a home. Now is a great time to do it. You're paying $1,500 a month for rent. That's roughly a $300,000 house, maybe a little bit more. When you're renting, that money goes nowhere except right to the landlord. And again, our company, instantrenters.com, loves rentals, but I've got to tell you, $1,500 a month could go towards the purchase of it. We've got some great lenders. We can introduce you to them and stuff like that, which brings me to another point. So in real estate, there's a ton of us. There's tons of mortgage professionals. And so over the years, we've met some really great ones, and we've met some really horrible ones. You have to interview your mortgage guys and make sure they're on top of it. And there's some great ones, and they're on our Facebook page. and you can check that out and stuff. But you've got to interview these mortgage lenders just like you would a realtor. You've got to have a good fit with them, get them the items they need. You cannot have this last minute stuff where the CD, which is the closing documents, are supposed to go out, and then all of a sudden you get a call from the lender, oh, your person's not even qualified. That is inexcusable, absolutely inexcusable, and any great lender will tell you that. So we'll introduce you to those. So anyways, the rumors out there are garbage. This is going to be a hot market. It's going to be a great 2021. I feel the housing market, my sister feels the same way, that it's just going to be spectacular. You'll get in there, and the prices are just going to keep going. We do see them stabilizing a tad. That doesn't mean they're dropping. It just means that, okay, I'm going to list a house that's worth $600,000 for $600,000. I'm not going to try to get $800,000 for it. So the next thing, so if you're in a position to do that, it's free. Get qualified. Call me up, shoot me an email. I'm going to send you 3 or 4 different lenders that we work with, and they're awesome. And let them qualify you. Nothing to lose. Maybe you're able to buy right now, and there's programs out there where they actually give you money, or maybe we have to wait a year. In that term, we'll find you a rental or possibly even a rent to own, which are very hard to find right now. Okay, so as we get into home ownership, the original show was going to be called Home Ownership Can Be Lonely. And let me tell you, it can be. So this is great. Owning a home is fantastic. We love it. You get your own place, you have your own pool, you have your pets run around, you can sit around in your underwear in the living room. It's awesome. But if you don't do something, it can be awfully lonely. So when you own a home, there's some things that you might want to consider just to kind of make it feel like a home and stuff. Don't get to a position where you work, go home, and that's all you do, because it does become very lonely fast. Pets make your house feel less lonely. But still, you want that interaction. So owning a home's great, condos, townhomes, and everything, but you want to make sure you get out there and socialize. So whether you're hitting the gym or you're taking hikes and just out there meeting people, make sure you take time out of your schedule to leave your home and get outside and do stuff. I've met many people. In fact, this is great. So we got a gentleman. He's awesome. He's a manager of a store in Santan Village. He's been in his house for 2 years. I spoke to him the other day. Loves the house. He's like, Jason, this is the best house. I love it. I'm so grateful we got it. I haven't been out of the house and I haven't met anybody. And I'm like, wait, aren't you working? He goes, yeah, but I go to work and I come home and I just work at home and I haven't met anybody, which is crazy. He goes, I feel kind of lonely. And that's part of what prompted this particular episode. And I've got another gentleman right now, older gentleman, 75, but I mean, he looks like he's in his 50s, out there rocking and rolling. He doesn't meet anybody. And so his goal is to buy a home so he can meet somebody. So yes, homeownership is one of the most incredible things in life that you can possibly do, but it can also be lonely. So, you have to make sure that you have to set something up that's for you. So perhaps you'd like to have family over for dinner. Set up a deal once a week, even twice a month, where you have your parents over or family, friends, your sister, whatever it is, just to get that interaction. The other thing, make sure you get outside, take walks. Every single night in my neighborhood, we take our dogs for a walk, and we run into people that we haven't met before, and we've been here going on 3.5 years. So it's a good way to interact. When you have a pet and you're walking around the neighborhood, you've got something in common. If you're just out walking around and you're putting headphones on, you have your head down and you're going to town, you're not going to meet anybody. Again, homeownership is incredible, but it can be lonely. So just kind of keep that in mind. Hey, another thing you guys can do also is get involved. So we've talked in past episodes in season 1 and 2 about HOAs and the amount of power they have. So in our community, we live up here in Monte Vista in Cave Creek, Arizona, which is an incredible community. We got a 5-acre park. There's swings, miles of walking trails. We're 7-8 minutes to Desert Ridge if you want to be there. But then again, if you want to be left alone, you're here at home. But so we've got a really great HOA. We've got some great people on it. And so they were talking about some different things, about some rules they want to change. That is a good HOA. So there are HOAs out there that will not take the residents' inputs. They just go ahead. You've got your board of 5 or 6, and they just make their own decisions. It is very imperative that no matter what, you get involved with the HOA. Even if it's just send them an email saying, hey, I think this rule that you guys are thinking about implementing is not good. You have to be involved. Again, this will help facilitate things. It'll make you active in the community. Plus, it gives you a voice. And that is one of those things that we've all learned in 2020 we all need. So, is a voice. So, get involved with your HOA. Before you purchase a house, we, obviously we check to make sure that the HOAs are great, but it's also good to kind of hang out in the area that you want to buy and just kind of get a feel for the people. And that will tell you a lot about the HOA. So for example, in our community, houses are spotless. HOA drives through here. They're not nitpicky on little things, but they come through and if there's issues, hey, can you maybe pick up those weeds in your front yard or whatnot. You've got to have an HOA that's active, but not abusive. And there is a fine line on it. And so for the most part, it's great everywhere. You've got some great ones. But you do run into some poorly run HOAs or poorly run board members. Up here, we're looking good. So it's one thing to keep in mind. Again, this is a great way to cure being lonely of owning a home. Again, first time on video today doing a podcast, so bear with me. The other thing we want to talk about here today as well is the Airbnb rules. So we've all been involved watching all the politics stuff go on. And again, we don't talk about politics, but I do have to touch base on this because it's going to affect a lot of people, a lot of our investors. So Airbnb put out an article last week, right after the new year, stating that they have a rule that they can deny renting a home to somebody who's part of a hate group or terrorist group. Obviously, who wants to rent to a terrorist group? The slippery slope I have personally with this is that with everything going on with Facebook and Twitter censoring stuff and Google and these other places starting to ban people for what they don't agree with, is this. So as a realtor, there are things we're not allowed to do. We're not allowed to talk about race, color, creed, origin, stuff like that, because it's illegal. And so if you come to us and you're like, Jason, I want to rent a house, you fill out your credit app, we run the credit. If there's anything on it, we discuss it. Basically, a little bit more, but basically. So the fact that Airbnb is now deciding who's on a terrorist group, let's say I go to Georgia and I take a picture in front of General Lee, the Confederate flag. Somebody at Airbnb could say, hey, you know what? That's hate speech. That's a terrorist. I'm saying he's a hateful person. And then they could actually ban me from renting a house from Airbnb. So these are things that as homeowners and realtors, we all need to start getting involved with. We cannot have companies like this dictating what is hate speech and what is a terrorist group. Now, I know the first emails I'm going to get, that's not what they meant. This is, what they're talking about. That's fine. We know what they mean, but we also know how it grows and it grows and it grows and it starts getting a little bit out of hand. So everybody needs to get involved in this. I know we got 50 million things on our plate. We got schools. We've got everything going on in our life and stuff, but we have to pay attention to things like this. This will affect your home values. Investors, we're already having a tough time with the HOAs not letting us rent houses for more than, you have to have a minimum 6 months, 30 days. They're changing those rules. Also, Arizona is working on some different rules that could potentially wipe out all Airbnbs because the hotel industry is so strong here and there's strong lobbies. So you need to be involved in this. So those investors, when you go to buy a house that's going to be for an Airbnb, we've got to check out the HOA rules. And then if you're going to go through that company, Airbnb, you want to make sure that they're not banning people just because they don't like them. I mean, the bottom line is a business and you want to get your house rented to some great people. And obviously you don't want any bad activity going on, but you also don't want people being profiled in the wrong way. So anyways, so as we move on to 2021, there's so much stuff going on. We've got a lot of great people coming on here. This year, you guys are going to meet celebrities. You're going to meet precinct members. You're going to meet congressmen. You're going to meet jewelers. I mean, you name it, business professionals, everything. Going to be on this show and the Lockbox show. It's a great time. It's a really good time. If you guys are interested in being on it and you want to showcase yourself, come on the show. Let's talk about different subjects. Every week we pick something different. And it's a good time. And sometimes we don't even talk about real estate, which is even better because that is part of the real estate market. In fact, it's funny. The last week I had a call from some people moving here from Colorado, and she goes, Jason, hey, when I called, I was sitting here thinking about it. You never asked me what kind of home I wanted on the initial call. And I was like, oh, okay. And she goes, but the homes you've been sending me are perfect and the areas are great. So the Grandin Group takes an approach like this. If you call for a house, of course, we know you want a great house. And what we want to know about you first. We want to know what your lifestyle is. Are you a family that hangs out at home a lot and you really don't go out, you don't really want to socialize and this and that, but you like to hang out in the backyard? We can kind of figure it out from there. So we want to know about you first. Then we can start building your profile and get you a great house, and we will. There's some great houses out there, so do not let the news media or anyone deter you. It's still a great time to buy. You are buying high, but it's still a great time to buy. Also, get involved in those HOAs and get involved in the community, even if it's something small. Just get involved because, again, home ownership can be lonely, but it is also the most exciting time of your life, and it's going to be a good time. And so, anyways, we try to keep our Arizona Real Estate Showcase to about 15, 20 minutes and stuff. We appreciate the podcast. It is a #1 rated podcast in Arizona. I want to thank you for listening to it. We've got over 1,100 listeners within 6 months, which is great, and we're on season 3. So it's actually 8 months because we broke it up from last year when we started, after the summer up through Christmas, and now this will be season 3, episode 1. So anyways, I wanted to thank you guys for listening to this. It's an honor. My sister and I and our team, the Grandin Group, powered by Corcoran Platinum Living. We are really proud to be your realtors. We're here for buying and selling. We'll give you any advice. If we don't know the answer, we will get the answer for you, and we'll get you taken care of. All right, home ownership can be lonely, but remember, it is a great time, and it is a great time to buy, and it's a blast. You guys are going to have a good time with it. So give us a call. Information's below. Thanks again for watching our first episode videotaped. And of course, I think this is like the 25th or 30th episode of our podcast, Arizona Real Estate Showcase. Hey, we look forward to seeing you guys. Have a great start to your New Year's. We're here for you. We'll talk to you soon. Thanks again.